Hi, everyone, and welcome to another week in MHA 621. The focus of this week is to really look at the healthcare workforce. And there's so much that can be covered during this week. So I'd really like to have you focus on two issues and two sort of sets of articles readings. The first is an article from the New York Times Magazine back in 2018 by, and I'm biased here, one of my favorite authors. Abraham Verghese is a physician. He's currently at Stanford. He's also an incredible author. Um, and just included his website below so you can see. I'm actually reading a couple of his books. They are big. They have a medical focus and they're just really wonderful. So that's a plug in for his books. But this piece, which it tends to focus on physicians, but you can apply this to any healthcare professional at any level. And it is really, the title pretty much says it all. Um, it does focus on electronic health records, clicks, death by clicking, if you've heard that term before. If you are a clinician, I know there's many out there, you already know about this. It is absolutely one-sided, but I think he's also a good writer. He's a physician as well. I would absolutely say he's a traditionalist. He is not um, about throwing out new technology, but it has changed, especially EHRs. He mentions in here AI, which is sort of amazing. This term, as you go down, keyboard clicks, I'm not sure where this statistic came from, over 4,000 clicks in an emergency room shift. Um, Came from. I've heard of similar numbers before. You might have as well. And what this does, of course, is take away from the interaction with patients, perhaps with other staff, um, because there just has to be stuff done. Um, Now, no one's going to disagree on, I think, the just sort of the nature of where we are in terms of the use of technology. But this section is about and the benefits of that. But this topic is about the workforce. And, I'm at a place, USI, where we are um, really asked to cultivate the future healthcare workforce. In our undergraduate programs, we have about a dozen programs in our college. Most of them are clinically oriented. So we're churning out clinicians, baby clinicians for all of you, to work in a variety, in various parts of the healthcare industry. Um, you all know that the recruitment and retention of those individuals is key. And as many of you indicated in the opening survey that you did, uh, in conjunction with your introduction, what are some of the challenges of the healthcare industry? Almost all of you put down in some way, shape, or form workforce. Or if you didn't, that would be in your top three. Um, Now, this has always been an issue, but we've created a workforce of specialists, or a healthcare industry of specialists. And by that, I mean, um, uh, well, there's so many different types. We know that. Um, but his take on this is insightful, because it's about taking away from the relationship or changing or altering that relationship at the expense of efficiency. I'd like you to take a look at this, as he talks about the price of digital medicine. And that could be, certainly baked in here is the notion of burnout as well. But I'd like you to focus as well, actually, let me back up and say, take a look at this. I think it's very relevant, but my piece that I've really spent a lot of time focusing on is this very last paragraph. I'm not sure if you've heard of this gentleman, Avidus Donabinian, the father of healthcare metrics, essentially a physician, I believe from the Middle East originally, developed the notion of healthcare quality. One of the modules in this course. And quality as we know it today in all aspects of healthcare is based on measurement. Um, you can't fix what you can't measure. You can't understand it. True, absolutely true. This last line that he uh, he puts in here, the secret of quality is love, certainly seems a bit squishy, um, maybe pie in the sky. But it goes back to, really, I think the essence of this article and of what we are asked for, we're asking in the healthcare workforce. I am not a clinician and I am a consumer of healthcare. I certainly understand the big picture, but I don't have the privilege that some of you do with that some of you have of interacting or have interacted with patients. But I do know, and you know this as well, when you think about yourself or your kid or your elderly aunt, you would hope that the healthcare worker, whatever that individual does and however how much experience that person has, can interact in a way that demonstrates empathy, interpersonal relationship, a high degree of what I think is exceedingly important, which is emotional intelligence. There has to be um, a balance between the details, the quality metrics, the efficiency of the healthcare workforce, and what has been called the softer side or softer skills. Now it's referred to as the essential skills. Essential means there's no getting out of this. Now, notwithstanding the fact that it has always been a challenging time for the workforce. And so this piece, even though it's a number of years old, I think still has relevance. I'd like to switch to the second document that you have, um, and have you really scan this one. There's no need to read this word for word, nor would I expect you to. So every year, the American Hospital Association comes out with this workforce scan, and this is a most recent one, and it looks at the healthcare workforce in the country. Now, it's put out by the AHA, so it does sort of fall into more of an acute care hospital world. It can be applied to almost anything. But I'm going to ask you, and of course, you have a workforce shortage assignment, to really focus on um, basically the essence of this scan and comes to four recommendations. Embracing technological integrated care models and innovations, which is really about innovative ways and pathways to accomplish care. Engaging clinicians in technology strategies. That sometimes falls exact opposite to what Abraham Verghese just spoke about in this article. Um, boosting access through partnerships, training, and upskilling. And a relatively new, might not be new now, but fairly new for the healthcare workforce, which is building in a more flexible, engaged workforce. As we not only think about the new recruits coming in, but the existing workforce as well, because the rest of the world and industries have moved towards a different types of flexibility option. Now, does that work if you are doing shift work, or you have a dedicated clinical staff needing to be in an urgent care center or a dental office? Maybe not. But though these are really the four recommendations that I'm also going to ask you to dive into deeper with the workforce assignment. Um, I'd also like you to, in this workforce assignment, feel free to integrate in any aspects of technology or even AI that you have come across. I recently went to the dentist a couple of weeks ago and love the dentist, love the hygienist. The office is fabulous. I had a set of x-rays done. And as after the x-rays were taken, um, and I'm getting my teeth cleaned, there's an AI module that is scanning my x-rays and looking for whatever, and did pick up some things that the dentist and the hygienist, I'm not sure if they missed it, but it highlighted it. Now, I was appreciative. I'm still not exactly sure because I was laying down in the chair, but they're explaining this to me. And it's a tool that helps them and invariably helps me. Um, and I've got to give it to the office that they sort of launched ahead with this. Um, I'm not sure how many patients in that office would be thrilled about it, but luckily the hygienist and the dentist were right there. They didn't leave it just to the AI product. But definitely, the reason I bring this up is because it is the focus of this practice to have the greatest amount of or the newest technology to recruit the best workers and to keep their patient population growing. So it all sort of comes into play. Um, Interestingly, I just noticed that the AHA has a typo in their document. So, well, we all make mistakes. Okay, so I'm going to ask you in for this week is to really to read Verghese article and scan, no pun intended. Um, Again, it is very much more inpatient focused. It can apply to, excuse me, any part of healthcare, especially these items over here. And with that, I will sign off. Please reach out if you have any questions. Um, and looking forward to checking out your assignments. Take care. Bye.